Hello there and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about Dragonflight Season 2, and in this video we're going to go through everything that is coming in Dragonflight Season 2, which is of course a part of patch 10.1 Embers of Neltharion, which has now launched. But before we jump into everything coming in Season 2, I just want to shout out my Twitch, twitch.tv/MrGM. If you want to see me streaming World of Warcraft, Dragonflight PTR, and more, I'm over on twitch.tv/MrGM every single day. Right, so yes, patch 10.1 has finally launched, and Season 2 is upon us very, very soon. Season 2 of Dragonflight launches on May 9th in the NA region and May 10th in the EU. And of course, like any season, there's just a ton of new things coming to the game. So let's begin by touching on the new item upgrade system. Now, this is actually in the game in patch 10.1, but fully comes into effect more so in Season 2. But I'm going to try and explain it the best I can. So the way that this works is that all PvE gear is now upgradable. There's different names for each of the piece of gear depending on what content you do. So it starts out with Explorer, then Adventurer, Veteran, Champion, and Hero. And then obviously Mythic gear will just not be upgradable, it will just be super high item level. So each item has kind of a different name to it. So to upgrade these items, you need a new currency called Flight Stones. Flight Stones are earned through basically everything in the game. So raids, dungeons, outdoor world content, res, chests, anything at all really will give you Flight Stones. And they are on the currency tab. Now you can hold up to 2,000 Flight Stones at a time, but there's no limit on how many you can earn. So if you get 2,000, then upgrade an item, you can earn more after that. There's no actual cap on them. It's simply just a hold cap of Flight Stones, so that's pretty good. So just Flight Stones are used to upgrade low level gear, but once you get into the higher item level gear, there's another item at play called Shadow Flame Crest. Now there are 4 different types of Shadow Flame Crest. So the first one is a Whelplin's Shadow Flame Crest. This is used to upgrade high level Adventurer gear and low level Veteran gear. These are earned from Raid Finder, Low Mythic Plus, World Quest treasures, and other activities. You can also get fragments which can be combined into a Whelplin Shadow Flame Crest. This is probably one that you've already got in your bag. The next one is a Drake's Shadow Flame Crest. This is used to upgrade higher level Veteran and low level Champion gear. So these are obtained through Aberrus bosses on normal difficulty, Mythic dungeons between levels 6 and 10, weekly events in the Zaralek Cavern, and once again you can get fragments for these. The next level is Worm Shadow Flame Crest. These are used to upgrade higher level Champion and low level Hero gear, or to be used as an optional reagent for crafted gear. These are obtained through Aberrus bosses on heroic difficulty and mythic dungeons between level 11 and 15. And then the final Shadow Flame Crest is the Aspect Shadow Flame Crest. These are used to upgrade hero gear to item level 441 or to craft as a optional reagent. These are obtained through Aberrus bosses on mythic difficulty and Dragonflight Mythic Plus dungeons at level 16 or above. It definitely does sound pretty complicated, but once you get into the system, it's definitely easier to understand. And as mentioned, this is already in the game already, so perhaps you already understand it anyway. So next up, let's talk about Mythic Plus. Yes, Season 2 Mythic Plus of Dragonflight is pretty different. They've definitely done some sweeping changes to Mythic Plus in Season 2, including a brand new dungeon pool, which includes 4 of the Dragonflight dungeons and 4 Legacy dungeons once again. So the Dragonflight dungeons are Brackenide Hollow, Halls of Infusion, Alderman, and Neltharion, the final 4 dungeons which were not in the last season. As for the Legacy dungeons this time around, we now have Freehold from Battle for Azeroth, the Underrot from Battle for Azeroth, Neltharion's Lair from Legion, and Vortex Pinnacle from the Cataclysm expansion, which is really cool because this is one of the first dungeons ever to come into Mythic Plus which did not have Mythic Plus or Challenge Mode or anything like that previously, so it's going to be really interesting to see Vortex Pinnacle in the Mythic Plus pool. Not a bad bunch of dungeons, honestly. I'm really excited for Freehold. I love Freehold. It's one of my favorite dungeons in Battle for Azeroth. So yeah, really excited for that brand new dungeon pool of 8 dungeons coming in Season 2. On top of the new dungeon pool is some changes to the Mythic Plus affixes, including some new affixes, some removed affixes, and the levels that the affixes come into play. So we have 3 general new affixes this season. We don't have a seasonal affix. So the first one is Incorporeal. It says that while in combat, incorporeal beings appear and attempt to destabilize players with spells that reduce their damage and healing done. Incorporeal beings are susceptible to all forms of crowd control. The next one is called Afflicted. This says that while in combat, afflicted souls appear to seek the aid of players. Afflicted souls spawn with poison, curse, and disease afflictions. Removing any of these afflictions or restoring the soul to full health causes it to despawn. Fail to remove their afflictions in time will inflict players with a negative status effect. And finally, Entangling. This one says that while in combat, Entangling Vines snare players. So yeah, those are the 3 new affixes of Season 2 of Dragonflight. These are just general affixes, not seasonal affixes. Also with Season 2, they're removing some affixes. So Quaking, Grievous, and Explosive are now retired for Season 2. And as mentioned, there is some changes to the way that affixes work with different levels. So now the affixes at level 7, that was level 4, are now Afflicted, Entangling, Incorporeal, Storming, and Volcanic. And now the affixes at level 14, which was level 7, is now Bolstering, Bursting, Raging, Sanguine, and Spiteful. So making it slightly easier from the looks of things, which is really nice, and kind of making it easier for new players to kind of get into Mythic Plus for the first time. So some really great changes, really looking forward to seeing how that all works out. Hopefully it's for the better. But we will see, obviously, once Season 2 launches on May 9th and 10th. Of course, with a new season, we have a brand new raid. So the raid is called Aberrus, the Shadowed Crucible. This is in the Zaralak Cavern in the northern part of the zone. This is the laboratory of Neltharion, abandoned for many years. This is a 9-boss raid with some really awesome encounters from the raid testing. It seems like a lot of fun, including a fight with Neltharion, or the Echo of Neltharion, which is awesome. I tested that one and thoroughly enjoyed it. We did not test the last boss. The last boss, Scale Commander Sarkareth, has not been tested. There's some definite lore implications here, some very interesting things going on. The room is very, very voidy. So yeah, we'll definitely see what happens with that. We don't know how that fight really goes down, and obviously we will see that once the season launches. Of course, with this new raid is a new bunch of tier sets for each class, which look absolutely fantastic. So really happy with the look of the tier sets. For once, the Hunter set doesn't look too bad, and the Warrior set just goes way too hard for absolutely no reason. But you know, I'm here for it. I think that's great. The last boss will also feature a Omni token for tier, so you will be able to trade this in for any tier set piece, which is really good. So that will drop from Sarkareth, and that's something new this time around. Cross-faction will also be available immediately from the launch of the raid, and because of the cross-faction editions, the Hall of Fame is now a combined Hall of Fame with 200 guilds in total, where it was 100 for each Horde and Alliance. So that's really interesting to see for Mythic. So the raid does launch on May 9th or 10th, depending on your region. On this day, you will get Normal, Heroic, Mythic, and for the first time ever, the first wing of Raid Finder. Then 2 weeks later, you'll get the second wing of Raid Finder. Another 2 weeks later, you'll get the third week. And then on the 20th or 21st of June, you'll get the final wing of Raid Finder. And everyone will be able to do the entire raid in its entirety. So yeah, Aberrus looking pretty good as a raid. I love the aesthetics of it. It's like a Blackwing Lair meets Blackwing Descent meets the graphics of Dragonflight with some really awesome encounters. So hopefully it's a good raid. Hopefully people remember it. And the Race Door First obviously kicks off on the 9th of May. And I'm looking forward to seeing who wins the Mythic race. So yeah, Aberrus, the Shadow Crucible, is the new raid of Dragonflight Season 2. As for Season 2 PvP content, unfortunately we don't have a ton of massive sweeping changes here. Really just kind of more of the same. So we have obviously a new season with some new gearing. So Honor, Conquest, all the same as it was previously. There is some changes to crafted gear. So you do have some optional reagents which you can put into crafted gear, which help with PvP. But for the most part, there's no massive like new battlegrounds or arena or anything like that really this time around for PvP. There is some new rewards though, of course. So as mentioned, you do obviously do have the tier set, but you also have the new Vicious Snail mounts in Horde and Alliance versions, and the Gladiator mount, which is now using the Winding Slitherdrake appearance, which is absolutely awesome. So I love the appearance of that, and obviously these snails are cool as well. So yeah, not much for PvP unfortunately, but hopefully they get something soon. It has been teased, so yeah, we'll see what happens in the future. As for Outside World content players, we of course get some updates to the Dragon Isles and the Zaralak Cavern. Firstly, of course, we have a brand new world boss in the Zaralak Cavern, which is actually 2 massive Jarden called Vakan and Gnola? Yep, that's probably not how it's pronounced, but you get the idea. These drop 415 loot and are located on the left-hand side of the zone in the Zaralak Cavern. They'll be available from day 1 of this season. Also in the Zaralak Cavern will be the brand new Researchers Under Fire event. This is a new event, similar to your soups and your sieges and things like that. This is a weekly event that you want to do at least once a week for some of the really great rewards. This rewards some upgradable gear, as well as Dragon Scale rep for each task that you complete, and completing the event also gives you 250 Loam Niffin rep from doing it weekly. So this is a really interesting event. So it's located in the middle of the Zaralak Cavern. The way that it works is there's 12 tasks that you have to complete. On the PTR, we didn't get too far because there wasn't a ton of people testing it, but obviously once it goes live, there's going to be loads of people doing it. So you get rewards for each 3 tasks that you complete. So if you don't complete up to 3 tasks, you get no reward, but you do get a reward once you complete 3, 6, 9, and 12 with the kind of items and things inside it. getting better as you complete it. There is a chance of a mount dropping from the very lowest tier of reward and upwards, which is the Catalog Shelving, which is one of the new mana ray mounts of the Zaralak Cavern. There's also a bunch of achievements as well attached to this event, including a meta achievement which rewards the Field Researcher title. So a pretty interesting event, pretty active, so you will be flying around killing things and things like that. It's not like the soup where you're just kind of throwing stuff in. But yeah, very interested to see how this works fully once we have a lot more players playing it once the season begins. And finally, in the regular Dragon Isles, you will notice a new thing called the Fyrakk Assaults. This is the Suffusion camps. So this is a brand new invasion event which is happening on the Dragon Isles. The regular Elemental Storm events will continue to happen, but this happens in the Onaran Plains or the Azure Span, depending on the day. You'll know which zone it's in by seeing this new icon on the map. From the looks of things, it is up all the time, but I guess we'll find out more information about that once that does come in. We haven't had full confirmation on how often this event will be up, but from the looks of things, it is going to be up most of the time. So the long short of this is essentially it's similar to Assaults in the Moor. So you're going to fly over to the zone, you'll see that it's changed, there's fire everywhere, there's Jarrodin, there's Primalists, it's all kind of crazy, there's dragons, and you'll have some quests to complete. These quests can reward some loot and some reputation depending on the zone. So the Azure Span will obviously give Tuskar rep, and the Onaran Plains will give Centaur rep. What you want to do here is complete these quests, obviously. You also notice a bar at the top, which is Fyrakk's Fury. Once Fyrakk's Fury is full, Fyrakk will invade the zone in a very, very awesome visual, very akin to Deathwing flying into a zone. He'll swoop in and drop off a boss. This is a weekly boss, so you want to kill this at least once a week, which does have a chance at 411 item level loot, and it will also drop a quest which gives one of the new crests to upgrade your gears. So Fyrakk Assault's definitely worth doing at least once a week. A bunch of achievements once again attached to those, so you want to check that out once that launches on May 9th or 10th. So yeah, that's everything coming in Season 2 of Dragonflight. A little kind of addition here. We didn't actually get the Winding Slitherdrake, so the Winding Slitherdrake will also come in Season 2. So you will be getting your 5th Dragon Riding Mount and a few more chapters of the Zaralak Cavern campaign when Season 2 launches, which is exciting. But that's basically everything. Let me know down below what you think of Dragonflight Season 2, the Mythic Plus changes, the sad changes to PvP, all of the outdoor events. There's quite a lot to do, and I'm really looking forward to it as usual. And yeah, I'm just a fan of Dragonflight, and I'm just more excited for more Dragonflight, I think, to be honest. So yeah, guys, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please do leave a like on it and subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to support me outside of YouTube, I also have a Patreon, and I'm on Twitter at MrGMYT, and I have a Discord as well. And as mentioned, I am streaming on twitch.tv/MrGM. We're over there, Dragonflight PTR 10.15 PTR coming up real soon, so we're going to be testing that, of course. So if you want to check me out, guys, twitch.tv/MrGM every single day. And with that, guys, I'll see you next time.